everyone. It is certainly my pleasure to speak with you today. My topic is an important topic. It's the subject of lay ministry. Ever since Jesus first healed and preached to people, lay ministry has been a fundamental part of the church. Some people, when Jesus changed their lives, worked to help Jesus. Today we do the same. Because Jesus changed our lives, we help Jesus change the lives of others through lay ministry. The question for us is, how? How can we help Jesus change the lives of others by doing lay ministry? And my answer is, I don't know. Short sermon, right? If I can't answer my own question, then the sermon must be over. Well, let's not move on to communion just yet. It's true, I don't have an answer about the nuts and bolts of lay ministry. As to the goals and to the tasks to reach those goals, the answers are with the ministers of our church. Ask them, how can I help Jesus change the lives of others by doing lay ministry? And you will get very specific guidance. My answer to this question takes a different viewpoint. My answer focuses upon our motives. How can we help Jesus change the lives of others by doing lay ministry? My answer is to be grateful. No pun intended, but being grateful is a great motivator for taking action. I'd like to show you how being grateful motivated an early follower of Jesus, someone we know as Mary Magdalene. Because she was grateful to Jesus, she helped Jesus. We'll look at two of the ways that she helped Jesus change the lives of others through her lay ministry. The first thing she did to help Jesus isn't really inspiring. In fact, it's somewhat ordinary. But the second thing we'll look at shows just how deep Mary Magdalene's gratefulness truly was, and how in due time she helped Jesus in such an important way that her message still resonates with us today very loudly. Indeed, the words she spoke are the reason we are even here today. So first, let's consider Mary Magdalene's somewhat ordinary help of Jesus. Our text says that Mary Magdalene and Joanna and Susanna and many others provided for Jesus and his disciples out of their resources. Well, when Mary Magdalene supported Jesus from her resources, we can think of her money. Jesus, who had no job, who had no money, was changing the lives of other people, and Mary Magdalene wanted to help. So she did a very ordinary thing. She gave Jesus some money to help pay the bills. It's a necessary form of lay ministry done all the time. Later in this service, we will do the same. We will give money to help Jesus change lives. For Mary Magdalene, supporting Jesus in his ministry by giving money was only the beginning of her work for Jesus. As we will see, her gratefulness to Jesus was much deeper than just giving money. She gives so much more of herself to help Jesus change the lives of other people. And the next act of support we will look at is inspiring indeed. In fact, what Mary Magdalene did is why you and I are here today. To understand Mary Magdalene's next support of Jesus and his ministry, we have to consider two distinct but related events. One is Mary Magdalene setting out to visit the tomb of Jesus' dead body. The second event is what she found at the tomb. So let us go with Mary Magdalene to the tomb where Jesus was buried. Expecting to find Jesus dead, she braced herself to endure the extreme weight of grief she anticipated. John chapter 20, verse 11 says, Mary stood weeping outside the tomb. And yet, she was still there, and she still wanted to help Jesus. Just as you or I do when people we love pass from this world, we feel like if we visit the grave that somehow those we love are still there. And we show our affection for them with acts of love, such as bringing flowers or pulling weeds from around the stones. And so Mary Magdalene was going to help Jesus, to care for Jesus' dead body, and to remember how important Jesus was in her life. Her gratefulness to Jesus drove her to help Jesus no matter how much she might suffer. But then, everything changed. The Jesus she was expecting to find, the dead Jesus she dreaded to find, wasn't there. Instead, in an instant, her world flipped upside down. John chapter 20, verse 14 says, she turned around and saw Jesus standing there. To her dizzying astonishment, Mary Magdalene discovered Jesus was alive. And not only alive, but standing by her. And not only standing by her, Jesus was talking to her. And Mary Magdalene recognized the voice. After talking with Jesus, Mary helps Jesus once again. She runs to find the others, the other followers of Jesus, and she tells them the news that all of the Christian faith is based upon today. The news that helps Jesus helps others to this very day. The extraordinary news: Jesus is alive. In our small study of Mary Magdalene, we have looked at 2 times she helped Jesus. I bring these moments to your attention to focus on why. Why did she help Jesus with her money? Why did she go to the tomb with a broken heart, but return from the tomb with the amazing news of resurrection that has changed the world? I think you know what I'm going to say. Because she was grateful. So where did her gratefulness come from? Well, to put it plainly, before Mary met Jesus, her life was a mess. Our text says that Jesus went through cities and villages, proclaiming and bringing the good news of the kingdom of God, that the 12 disciples were with him, as well as some women who had been cured of evil spirits and impurities. And Mary Magdalene, from whom 7 demons had gone out, was one of the women. Mary Magdalene's life was in uncontrolled turmoil before Jesus healed her. But after she experienced the sweetness of health, she never forgot it. And she was grateful to Jesus from then on. She showed her gratefulness by helping Jesus to change the lives of others. How grateful was Mary Magdalene to Jesus? What kind of health did Mary Magdalene enjoy after 7 demons were gone? We can only imagine the answers. But imagining answers isn't a bad idea. In fact, let's do some imagining right now. Let's begin with this certainty. Mary Magdalene had no control over the demons. So let's imagine that you have important areas of your life that you have no control over. At this point, a psychologist by the name of Maslow can help us. He came up with 5 areas of life that comprise all of what we need in life. Maslow said that we are motivated to meet one need so that we can move on to meet another need. These needs are physiological needs, like air, water, food, safety needs for personal security, love and belonging, such as friendship, intimacy, and family, esteem needs for respect and status and recognition, and self-actualization needs, the desire to be the most that you can be. When you look at this chart, you see that Maslow used a pyramid to show that the more the lowest needs are met, the more the needs above them can be met. For example, without air and food, the less the need for safety can be met. Without safety, the less the need for love and belonging can be met, and so on. Mary Magdalene had at least one of these needs going unmet, maybe more than one. So, as I suggested, imagine that you have one of these important needs in your life that you have no control over. And that as you are interfered with this somehow in your life, just as Mary Magdalene's life was interfered with whenever her needs could not be met. What I'd like you to do is to choose any one of these needs and try to imagine a life where your need cannot be met. Go ahead and take a look at the chart. Choose one. Choose any one you wish. I'll give you a few seconds to consider your choice. All right. Now let's consider the consequence of your unmet need. If you chose physiological needs, then you are unable to breathe properly. You are hungry, and you don't know where you will sleep tonight. If you chose safety needs, you are likely to be robbed on the way home. Your government won't obey its own laws, and society has no order for your safety. If you chose love and belonging, then you have no one to love. No one loves you, and you live a life completely alone. If you chose esteem needs, you are constantly discriminated against. No one values who you are, and you must rely upon the very people who treat you this way for your own life. I think you can imagine how even one unmet need would make your life a living hell. As such, it was for Mary, and perhaps with more than just one of these needs not being met. After all, she did have 7 demons. Jesus healed Mary Magdalene from the horror of these demons that stripped her of her ability to meet so many needs. What would she feel after such a transformed life? What would you feel? It's important to note that Mary did not earn what Jesus did for her. Just as when our needs are met, we don't earn it either. Let's use Maslow's chart to consider all that was done for Mary Magdalene that she did not earn and that we do not earn. As for physiological needs, the air we breathe is only there because it was created for us to breathe. We did not earn it. As for safety needs, the laws that protect us are only there because of ancient laws created generations ago. We did not earn it. As for the love and belonging needs, the intimacy and affection we cherish from those who know us best, give us this love freely. We did not earn it. As for esteem needs, any dignity and respect we enjoy for any of our accomplishments come to us through the sacrifices of life experiences of so many people who came before us. We did not earn it. Put simply, Jesus gave Mary Magdalene life itself. She did not earn it. Put simply, we have been given life itself. We did not earn it. What did Mary Magdalene feel? It's the same that we should feel. With every breath we draw, every safe night's sleep we enjoy, every tender hug of love we treasure, and every compliment of praise we receive. Just like Mary Magdalene, we are to be grateful for Jesus giving us life. There's an old song we sometimes sing called "Great is Thy Faithfulness." The lyrics are especially appropriate today. Do you remember the line, "All I have needed, thy hand hath provided"? The point is that every need we have being met today is a gift of our life. How are we to respond to this? Just as Mary Magdalene, with gratefulness. In fact, let's take "Great is thy faithfulness" and change the words around just a bit to show how we respond to all of our needs being met. Let's say, "Faith is my gratefulness." We have so much to be grateful for. In fact, the more grateful we are, the more faith we have. And the more we are like Mary Magdalene, willing to show our gratefulness by working to help Jesus, to help others through lay ministry. Let us be a grateful congregation. Let us be like Mary Magdalene.